four, three, two, one, go!
Good evening, good people. Y'all know what time it is, baby. It's AA Sports. Straight sports, no chaser. You have the super team of sports talk here with y'all on one half of it. Diego Barishnikov, the Black Dominican Russian, here checking in with my main man, my partner in crime. For these people who you are.
What's good people? It's your boy Uncle Hate, the other A in AA Sports, broadcasting live here on a Wednesday. We were away last week, had some family stuff to take care of, but we're back. Seems like it's been a long time, but what's good, homie?
Everything is good. I guess it has been 2 weeks, so yeah, we skipped last week, but we are here to catch up from last week, so we're gonna go over NFL draft. It's not too far out of our minds because I think they just went to mini camp over the weekend, and the rookies did. So
yeah,
we're still in a little pocket right there to discuss some of that. And of course, we're gonna touch on the NBA playoffs and how things are going for some teams. But before we get into all of that, we cannot start the show off without thanking all of our followers, listeners, watchers, those of you guys that subscribe on the YouTube channel. Continue to do so. If you watch on YouTube and you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and give us some comments, thumbs up or down there. And then if you listen to us on the go, in your cars or what have you, on one of those podcast platforms, whether it be Spreaker or iTunes, don't forget to keep sharing those episodes on your timelines, giving us some feedback there on those platforms as well. All right, y'all know how we start the show. Something like the news, part of the open bar segment. We're going to get into some crazy shit that we've seen over the last week or so, stories that pop up and draw a little chuckle from us, so we're going to share them with y'all. As always, Uncle Hate started us off. I know you got some good shit for us.
Yeah, I got a few. I had some homework last week, and it kind of carried over. All right. It was a lot of finesse in my stories this week. A whole lot of finesse.
Okay.
Right. This first story is about Brianna Dean, a 24-year-old mother of two who allegedly maliciously posted photos of a man's genitalia on his own social media accounts and demanded he pay her to stop it. Of course, she's from Florida. Basically, she got a hold of her ex-man's old phone, logged into his social media, posted dick pics, changed the passwords so he couldn't go in and change it, and demanded to get paid. She got locked up.
Wow.
Yeah, she got locked up, had to post 10 racks to get out, and it was a felony. Fellas, a lot of times you probably would have wanted to choke her for that. You probably would have wanted to. But this cat did the right thing. Call the folks on him. Get them locked up. Put them on paper. You ain't going to win if you hitting them. Just lock them up for doing this type of stuff.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that. All right, this next one was actually pretty interesting. This is in regards to a fella named Gerardo Valenzuela. He's 34 years old. He also went by the name of Gary Cazares. This cat worked for the bank and stole $4.3 million in cash, rolled it clean out the door, flew it to Seattle, then drove to Mexico. Okay, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we've both been in situations. Oh, it gets deep. We both have been in situations where we might have been about to lose a job, sales, some shit like that. Right. This cat was working at the bank, and the bank was about to eliminate his position. So he had access to the vault. He started making withdrawals. He organizes an ice cream social at the bank. Tells his boss, the bank now, I'm going to stay late to clean up. And they're like, cool, no problem. He walks some money out of the bank that day. Sends his girl out of town. The next day he's at work. He walks out the rest of the cash. Leaves. Gets on a plane to Seattle. Cashes out. And then drives to Mexico. Now here's the kick. He drives to Mexico with a car he bought, an AK-47, and $3.8 million in cash on his person. And of course, with these checkpoints, they're going to go through your car and shit. They're going to do it. So they find the bread. Now, all of this happened in Anchorage, Alaska. Who would know that something like this happened in Alaska? He served 7 years in prison in Mexico. Soon as he gets out, guess what? He gets extradited to Alaska for robbing the damn job. And they're not talking about time served.
Nah. That's out of country.
Right. So, and they're still looking for about $500,000 that, he'd send up to Washington. They ain't gonna never see that money.
Nah, they ain't gonna find that.
He's good.
That's invested in the marijuana industry up there.
Absolutely. Here's another story of finesse. A gentleman from Minnesota pleaded guilty to mail fraud for faking his own death. Homie took out a $2 million policy with the Bank of Omaha. He's a European fella. He goes back to his hometown and fakes his death, has a body with his identification and stuff on it. He moves to another city. His wife shows up, identifies the body like, yeah, that's him. Gets the $2 million.
Right.
He's moving bread now. He done changed his name, living somewhere else. His son gets pulled over in another city. They find pictures of the father and the son that summer. So they all go to jail.
The pictures was after he's supposed to be dead.
Yeah, he's been dead for a couple of years, allegedly, with that. Right. I mean, go big or go home, I suppose.
Wow.
That's tough shit there.
Hey, man, people going for that bread, boy.
They went for it. $2 million, he went for it. His wife got 37 months in jail. I think the son got probation. They didn't say what the father got, but if you're going to go for it, go for it. Gwinnett County business owners, it's a cat running around here with some fake $100 bills. He done hit y'all off real hard. He hit Walmart, Metro PCS, Boost Mobile, and a few other stores with these fake ass bills. ain't nobody know no better. So, do better.
And if he out there, now that the story out, I hope he ain't stupid enough to still be moving them in the same area. You better change the game plan up, homeboy.
Yeah,
they don't see you.
You got to move different in that regard. All right, a few more before we get up out of here. Did you hear Usher settled with that chick who said that he gave her herpes?
Why? If it wasn't true.
If I ain't give you the shit, I ain't settling.
Right.
So all you chicks out there who still listening to Let It Burn and You Got It Bad, don't let that boy go up in you raw. Don't do it.
Your ass will be burning for real.
Don't do it. Because you're not going to settle with somebody over this type of shit unless it's like real. She sued for 20 and they came out and said they've reached an amicable agreement. What do you think about five?
I'm about to say, the only plausible thing I can see here is it was going to drag out so long in court that it was cheaper to pay her to pay all the fees and court costs and then still possibly have to pay her on top of that. That's the only thing I can see of why you would even settle that. But even still with that, Usher should have the type of lawyers that should have been able to debt this case long time ago if it didn't have any truth to it. That's all I'm saying.
If she wanted $20 million, Usher's attorney probably showed up with $500,000 cash. And she probably took that shit. People don't see $500,000 cash.
In cash, not often. Not often. That get 500 racks and offer to pay off for attorney fees.
Right.
Hey, we square, right? We square.
Where do I sign? All right, my last one. 3 Georgia women went to a consignment store in South Carolina. They bought a child a box of Legos. When they opened that box of Legos, they found $40,000 worth of crystal meth.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know how this happened, but they turned it into the folks. I would have had to put my ear to the street to find somebody.
I mean, yeah. The crystal meth thing, yeah, that's a little out of my zone there.
I mean,
but
put word out there for somebody.
Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah. I'll just say, yeah, you should be. It shouldn't be too hard. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be too hard.
And somebody that was their work. I hope it wasn't on consignment.
Said 40,000 worth.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right. So give or take 30 of it was the plugs money.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Somebody into somebody for a little something.
Somebody either laying low or they had to give up everything they had to get it. One is
But how do you forget you got it planted there? I don't understand.
right. Yeah, that's tough. Tough break. All right, that's all I got. What you got?
I got a few, just a couple. This black firefighter out of Los Angeles. His name Teeny Pierce, 51, out of LA. He sued the Los Angeles firefighter department and won a $2.7 million settlement because off of racial harassment and discrimination. Basically, without trying to read and paraphrase the story, basically some of the other firefighters got together and pulled a prank on Buddy. And instead of regular food, in firehouses, usually you got one or two people that probably cook for the whole squad, you know what I'm saying? And they eat at the same time, all that kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
So they put dog food in Buddy's plate instead of real food. So he gets to eating and they start laughing. He like, yo, what's up? What's going on? He gets a little sick, blah, blah, blah. He found out they did it. He sued, won $2.7 million.
I'm assuming he quit too.
Yeah, he don't work there no more, of course. I think he ended up getting reassigned to another spot. They said they did it to try and humble him because he kicked their ass in a volleyball game.
You serious? That's some petty ass shit. Some petty people in this world. But you know what? Them some brave dudes though. I gotta get to them. I don't know if I can sit there and pull up and see a damn building on fire. Let me run in here.
Yeah. Yeah. They brave as fuck. You right about that. Everybody trying to get out. They going in.
I got the hose. Y'all go.
Let me make sure the connection is straight at the fire hydrant to the truck. Hey.
Right. That's fucked up, but it's true though.
Yeah. You probably gotta have some seniority to get to get that job.
Right.
They probably got them youngins running right in there.
Go on in there, check it out.
Yeah, you earn your stripes. Let's see. Now my next story is crazy ass story. This is actually this chick is a WNBA player. What is her name? Rakina Williams. She go by Bebe. All right.
Oh Lord.
According to the arrest report, this happened in Florida. Bebe and her ex-chick had they had some problems. Bebe went over to the house. They get to squabbling. There's two gentlemen there that said it took them about 10, 15 minutes to even break up the fight. All right, so you figure it'd be over with. They broke up the fight. Nah, it ain't over. It's just started. Bebe goes to her blue Camaro, pulls out a gun, pointed it at one of the dudes, said, "You can get all 18 of these." Before she got in her car and peeled out.
Not the whole clip.
She said she's gonna empty the whole clip on Buddy. The whole clip. This all came after her and the girl had been together for about 5 years on and off, and they had broke up about a month earlier. And Bebe was a little jealous, you know what I'm saying, that she had kind of moved on. But yeah, man, two dudes just being in the wrong place at the wrong time, almost called it hot when trying to do the right thing and be a good Samaritan.
My experience in the day-to-day job dealing with women who date women, I'm trying to find a right way to put this. They fight to the death. With what I do for a living.
You've seen some shit, right?
They try to kill each other. So I'm not surprised at this at all. I'm not. But yeah, the 18, yeah, that's whoa. I wonder what type of suspension she'll get from the WNBA behind this. They do have a personal conduct, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's gonna have to catch a suspension or something.
3 months or so. So hell, they can't hit her too hard.
Yeah, I mean, but the money that they making, they already complaining about they don't make enough money, and if that's her only source of income, she had to miss a third of the season over this. Hey,
She gonna
That
feel
could
that.
be a nice. Yeah, she might feel that. So ain't no
For
telling.
real. For real.
The last story I have, I actually had this one last week. It's a little old, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I think it's uh, PSA. We always talking about people posting everything, right?
Yep.
Um, well, this chick, okay. Well, when it comes to the posting, do you remember that when the chicks was doing that for the D challenge over
Mm-hmm.
the internet? All right.
Mm-hmm.
So the chick that made that up or invented it or whatever is a rapper out of New Orleans. Her name, she goes by Game Over Reading.
Oh.
Right? Yeah, that's her rap name. She decided that she's been charged with child desertion because she decided it was a good idea. One day she was running, she woke up late or whatever. She didn't, and she said she was sick. She, instead of driving her son to school, getting 5 years old, she put homie in a Lyft.
Are you serious?
She called a Lyft to come pick the kid up, right? So the Lyft driver gets there. Of course, he just taking the ride over his phone. He don't realize it's a kid until he get there. So he like, yo, I can't take a kid without him being accompanied by an adult. Shawty puts the kid in the car, closes the door, goes back in the house and closes the door. So now Buddy just sitting there. So instead of taking the kid to the school, he took him to the nearest police station to drop them off.
Defects.
All day. So people, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Don't put you. It's not cool to put your 5-year-old in a fucking Lyft by himself. All these crazy people out here. You hear about shit happening with Lyft and Uber drivers all the time, and you gonna put a 5-year-old in
But
a.
you know what? She
Yeah.
be on the news crying like a motherfucker, talking about, I don't know where my child at. He got took. But you put him in a car. You don't know who driving that Uber or that Lyft. You have no. It could be Chester the child molester driving that car.
Exactly. They don't realize that these ride sharing companies, these delivery services, they don't do no interviews. So you put your information in on the internet. They do probably what's the most basic of basic ass background checks just to make sure you don't come up.
Felonies. That's it. I'm
Yeah.
sure. Or no violent felonies at least. They good with
You know what I'm saying?
whatever.
They probably looking at the driving record more than anything.
Right.
So you say you don't know who you get. But anyway, so that's all the stupidity that I had for this week.
Was there any more big stories that I don't think it was anything big over the last 2 weeks that I can think of.
Nah, in regards to this randomness?
Yeah, nothing big.
Nah.
So, all right, let's keep it moving. Ready to do a little bit of work?
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's kick let's talk about this draft, man. I'm glad it finally came and went.
Yeah.
Shout out to the big homie upstairs. Shout out to God. And I say that because we was talking for months about, hey man, we want to go to the draft. It's right there in that. It's right there in. It's like, okay. I started looking into it, people, and that plan quickly got axed when we saw those rooms was going for like $600 to $700 a night for fucking Nashville.
You saw how many people was there?
It was way too many people there. And that first night, it started raining. As soon as the draft kicked off, it started raining. And you standing there outside, just in the rain. It looked like shoulder to shoulder people standing up. That would have not been a good look.
It looked like more people there than it was in Philly. I want to say Chicago had it.
They put the numbers out. I want to say they said like 220,000 people, something crazy like that. It was way more than it was in Philly, or even when it was in Dallas. I think it was more people. So I was like, wow. I'm glad we didn't go.
That worked out. I mean, it would have been dope to go, but I ain't about the crowds at this stage.
Nah.
So we're basically reheating this draft because it was a week ago. Well, really 2 weeks ago. So we're gonna go over some quick points.
Yes, pop this in the microwave real quick.
Yeah, real quick. I guess the big story, out the first round was Daniel Jones going 6th, but we kind of knew. I mean, I want to say we talked about it the week before because it was in the streets. The Gettleman was seriously gonna do it.
It was in the streets, but shit, I was hoping. Okay, I hope this is not true.
Man, this Gettleman cat, I'm glad he's not on the payroll for my team anymore. But I think it's worse now that I'm hearing him talk because his voice, he sounds creepy for one. How can you be creepy and arrogant at the same time?
Man, this cat.
He
And then
believes his
what's
own shit. He believes everything out of his mouth.
and what's funny is he's like still trying to justify it though after the fact, talking about the reason that they had to take him at 6 was because Denver and Oakland. He knew that they were going to take him if he didn't. Like, yeah, right.
And they put word out there like, no.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. Now, at first, I could have believed Denver a little bit because John Elway don't have the best history of evaluating quarterbacks.
Nope.
So I could possibly believe that he would have taken a Daniel Jones type at number 10 because he's done it many times over. But even he was like, nah, bro.
But let me ask you this, though. If you like a guy and he's your guy, are you going to trust that board or are you going to take your guy? If you're put your GM hat on.
It's got to be a little bit of both. You know, I got to look at, is anybody realistically going to take him that high? And if the answer is no, then, you know, they had another pick at 17 that they could have used. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that second pick wasn't until like late in the first round. You know what I'm saying? Where you see a lot of movement and teams moving up, you know, to get into a better position for that some of them late first round guys. But no, at 6, there was no need for them to jump to take him.
With Josh Allen still on the board at 6, you would think, I'm going to take that pass rusher. He's going to be there at 17. Daniel Jones is. If he's not, that's just God's plan to me. He wasn't supposed to be a Giant.
Even if he's not on the board, let's say somebody else was as dumb as they were. It took Daniel Jones before their 17th pick came around. How that means Dwayne Haskins may have still been there. Well, no, because Washington was definitely going to take him.
15.
But let's say somebody like a Drew Lock or Will Greer.
Right.
Will Greer didn't go to the 3rd round, I believe.
Right, but them grades weren't so far apart.
That's what I'm saying. If they're not that far apart, why not have one of them as a fallback plan? Even if, you know what I'm saying, I just didn't get, you know, what they did. And to make it even worse, no, go ahead. So I can get my thought together.
Nah, don't it seem like the Giants draft room, they probably still using like a fax machine? It's like real analog in there.
Sitting there waiting on it to come through.
Right. It just don't seem like they're with the times right now. Because they still talking about like, well, Eli got like 3 years.
That's the other part I want to get to. Now he's talking about he might sit for 3 years. Like,
that sounds like a project, right? You don't draft a dude to sit for 3 years if he's a project at 6.
Not 6 overall, you don't. No hell you don't. You know, the only reason Aaron Rodgers had to sit for 3 years, and he was later first round, he fell, but was because he had a Hall of Famer in front of him that was just stubborn and playing with the Packers organization at the time.
And if I'm not mistaken, Brett was still pretty solid at that time.
Brett was still good.
That's about, I don't know if I'm going to play every year, but Brett was still solid. He wasn't Eli.
Exactly. So, nah, bro. Nah, come on, man. That's what I say, man. The Giants, man. Odell should. I know it's the city-wise. You probably know the nightlife and all that ain't the same from New York to Cleveland.
Yeah.
But it's a damn shame that right now, I think I would concretely say that the Cleveland Browns got a better run organization than the New York Giants. And who would have thought that we would have been uttering those words about a team? Even looking at their history, this is a team that's won 4 Super Bowls. 2 of them, they are the only team that's basically been able to. Well, not the only team because here lately the Eagles beat them. They're talking about the Patriots, but
they laid the groundwork, the blueprint. As
right.
far as how to beat
the other 2 Super Bowls. Exactly. That's what I was getting at. So it was a team like that should not be basically what is equates now to the laughing stock of the league. They used to be like Oakland and Cleveland. Oakland. I think even Oakland in a better position than the Giants are, and that's pretty sad.
All right. I like the Green Bay draft, but don't it seem like they should have took some offense? Do you like those wide receivers? I mean, Devontae, yeah, of course, but the rest of them cats.
I'm trying to think who they got now.
Good point. That's where I'm at with it.
They got rid of Reynolds.
Jordy's gone.
Geronimo Allison. He's been pretty decent.
The Sanchez. I can't remember. You know that cat with that long name.
Yeah. Is Janice still there? No, Janice not there no more.
Nah, he gone too.
Yeah, he been gone.
I felt like they should have took at least a wide receiver in this draft. At least one. They took a tight end because whatever. But I felt like they should have did something. But you think he can make a crumb, flip a crumb to a brick with them guys if the defense is right?
I mean, I think that's the big thing that the Packers wanted to do is make sure that they got their defense together. When you got somebody like Aaron Rodgers, I mean, let's look at you say he's on the skill wise with Tom Brady, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and we look at what Tom Brady from year to year he's able to make sugar out of shit in a lot of cases, and he really gonna have to do it this year because he ain't got Gronk. But but you basically you count on Aaron Rodgers to be able to move the ball no matter what weapons that you have, and you coach up the receivers, Aaron to put the ball where it need to be. This to be okay on the offensive side. The defense really needed some work, but like I said. It's a little eye-popping that they didn't pick not one, didn't bring anybody in. Maybe they plan on doing something in free agency. Now that the second wave is for the begin or has begun here. Yeah. We'll see what they do in that regard. But they had Packers actually had a pretty good offseason.
They've really had a solid offseason. I want to say they've had a good one. I like what Oakland has done. Now as far as them taking Farrell at 4. I know we talked about it where those mock drafts they be here and there, but I ain't never see him higher than we were supposed to take him in 16 in most drafts. So for them to go all the way to 4, if you like your guy, I guess you like your guy. But Oakland's had a solid option.
I can stomach it a little bit more when it's for a defensive player. I can stomach it a little bit more. With quarterback is just one of the positions you gotta hit. You know what I'm saying? And then Oakland had 3 first-round picks, so they kind of had a little wiggle room to kind of play there.
Yeah.
But one thing we talk about their offseason, one thing I think they are probably going to bite them in the ass is that Trent Brown signing. We talked about how much money that they paid him, and then I saw today, this is the reason I'm really breaking him up, that they moving him to right tackle.
What the hell?
Like, people, if you don't know, right tackles, that's the least of the 2 tackle positions. They usually make the less money. If he was already being tabbed as overpaid to be a left tackle, he's double overpaid to be a right tackle.
Absolutely.
That's gonna be interesting.
All right. What else I got? I ain't got much on the draft. What do you Dwayne Haskins went 15. You sitting him a year, right? Or you gonna play him? If you Washington.
And if he's ready, which I would probably lean, because he's an older cat, right? Well, he only had 1 year as a starter.
Name one receiver on Washington.
They got Jamison Crowder still, right?
No.
He gone?
He with the Jets now.
That's right. I don't know. Who do they have? Oh, they got that cat that who got hurt last year. It was brought in from
They got Doxson, I think. But they declined his option the other day. Jordan probably hurt right now.
Nah, what's the cat? He came from Paul Richardson. That's what I'm thinking about. He got hurt last year.
Yeah, they paid him, so yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he ain't. Paul Richardson scare you?
What's up?
Paul Richardson scare you?
No.
Okay,
no,
yeah.
Not at all.
So, we'll see.
Let Case Keenum go out there and get his ass kicked like the first 12 to 15 games.
And ultimately, that's what I think is going to happen. I mean, we know Case is the bridge. Let him go out there and, and see what happened. They should have I'm interested to see Jarius Geis back. Is his first name Jarius? No, Darius. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Darius Geis from LSU. He got hurt last year before the season even started. So, a good run game.
For AP. This it. I mean, they took the boy from Stanford. That was pretty much
they took Bryce Love, didn't they?
Yeah. I tell you, see, and they be talking about, go back to school. If he'd have came out that 1 year, first round.
Yeah.
First round. So, but it is what it is with that. All right, let's talk about the Falcons real quick. They traded up to get offensive linemen. I ain't mad at them for that. They got to protect Matt Ryan, but
when I saw that Falcons, and I looked at the Falcons draft, and a lot of Falcons fans are mad about it. Because they they took 2 linemen like you said, so it wasn't
a
no
sexy draft, but
it wasn't no splash name. It reminded me of the year we took 2 linemen in the first round one year. Turned out to be real good pickups, Mike Yapati and Anthony Davis, because we had one of the best offensive lines in football while we had our little 3 to 5 year stretch there with Harbaugh. So even though it's not a sexy pick, and I know you probably wanted a name out of the SEC or somebody that you knew, don't sleep on those picks. You invested a lot of money in your quarterback, and you best to protect his ass.
Oh, last thing about I want to go back to Washington real quick. Montez Sweat, they moved back up into the first to get him. You know, like right the week of the draft, they came out and said that his combine testing of his heart might have been misdiagnosed. He was supposed to go top 10. They got him at 21. So if you got a franchise DN and your franchise quarterback in the same draft, they might actually be going in the right direction. They just might be. Yeah. I don't trust Jay Gruden for shit, but you know.
Yeah, that's still a question mark. He seems to be skating by year after year after year. But I like the position that the Redskins are in. Again, better than the Giants.
Absolutely. All right, let's break down ours real quick, and we're gonna get off this draft because we don't reheated it enough. I'm okay with my draft. We took a DN like I wanted. Greg Little was projected to go first round. He dropped to me in second. We took a quarterback at third round. I thought Cam Newton was on notice because I've been saying on this show for weeks, it's a new owner.
Right.
Hey, Cam. You know, and then they took a quarterback in the third, but then Cam came out and spoke on it last week like, yeah, I'm happy that he's here. I'm good with it.
I was surprised how Cam responded. And, I was surprised and I was kind of happy because it showed it at least headed in the right direction. There's always been some question about Cam's maturity and how he handles certain situations. And I think he handled that pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you threw 69% before your shoulder got destroyed, so you're heading in the right direction. And we ain't drafted a quarterback since he's been there. We have literally not drafted a quarterback since he's been there. How many quarterbacks can say that? No quarterback's been drafted since they've been there.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I guess when you look back at it, y'all had Derek Anderson for a good while. Let's back up. Who before him? Yeah.
They ain't drafted one. So, and Tom Brady is like the GOAT. And they drafted quarterbacks almost every other year. So, if you can't compete, then you don't need to be there anyway. I like this Christian Miller pickup, a DN that's, going to rush the passer. I'm good with my draft. I'm thinking we're going to get Eric Berry or Trey Boston to play safety, and we're going to go from there. What you got on this 49ers draft? How you feel about it?
All right, so I'm good with the Nick Bosa pick. And I don't think we talked about his little comments or whatever since they came out.
But that press conference the other day.
I didn't pay. I read most of what happened. I didn't see it, but they got him on the cleanup campaign right now. Mm-hmm. I went from being excited to get him before the draft to when that shit came out to like, okay, it just turns to now you better do your fucking job. You know what I'm saying? That's about it.
You see, Sherm came out and said, long as he can play, them comments ain't gonna matter. They're gonna forget about that.
Exactly. And I even before these comments came out, I said, I'm pretty sure Sherman's gonna be one of the first ones. They'll have a talk with the young man. About his comments. I mean, our NFL locker room has been a melting pot of all kind of different shit for quite some time. So, he ain't the first that's had these thoughts. He ain't going to be the last. It's just that, he happened to be a high-profile pick, and this shit got caught up on social media. If he had been a 6 or 7 round pick, it probably nobody even would have paid attention. So, at least you know where he's staying at this point. You know what I'm saying?
With that.
You know what I'm saying? You know where he's standing. You got to be teammates and you got to be best friends. If anything, coming to a city like San Francisco, it's going to show him that maybe how stupid his thought process in his comments was, because that's one of the most liberal, if not the most liberal city in the country. And you're going to have to mix with those people.
It's a whole
If
lot
not,
of red 7 still in them stands, right?
exactly. And if not, if you still want to act up, then throw him to the wolves in the parking lot during the tailgate and see if you come out.
We know that the 49ers are notorious for winning the fifth quarter. We know. So people in case you initiated the fifth quarter is the fight in the parking lot.
That's outside. That's afterwards. But from a football standpoint, he should definitely help our pass rush. Him and D Ford, I expect them to wreak havoc and help the Fords Buckner out going forward with that. I was very happy with the Deebo Samuel pick. I was calling for that before it happened, so I'm glad we went there. The our third round pick, Jalen Hurd, receiver out of Baylor. I was surprised with that pick. I thought we might have went corner or safety.
Yeah.
But we went receiver again. I don't know much about him other than the fact that he was a converted running back. He played for Tennessee, started off at Tennessee, and he was a running back. And then he ended up transferring to Baylor and switching to a receiver. Big body. He's about 6'4". And from what I'm seeing from him so far, so I say good, nice physical body, and he's got a lot of wiggle in his routes. They say I've seen him run some pretty good routes, and a lot of that comes from his running back background, having this shift and cut out of hole. So that could be a very valuable pick there. Now, this fourth round pick,
y'all took a punter, B.
We took a motherfucking punter.
I started to call you when that happened, like not text you, but pick up the phone and call you, like, cuz y'all took a punter in the fourth.
Yeah. Now we did some similar shit. I think we took a Bradley Pinion some years back. I think we took him in the fifth round, which got a lot of side eyes because that was still kind of high. A fourth round pick, man. This dude, he better be all time punter. Now they say he got, if you got a golf bag, you got all the clubs and you're expert with all the clubs. They say he got all the clubs.
Okay.
All the kind of different spins and rotations and hang time. They say he got it all. He better for a fourth round pick.
I mean, that's a weapon. If y'all got the pass rush, which I think y'all gonna have this year, if he pinning folks, behind the 20, and y'all can flip.
Yeah, and like I said, that's gonna be that's kickers are weapons too. You just don't normally see him taking that high. And then after listening to Kyle Shanahan after the draft, because he had to answer some questions as to why we didn't take any defensive backs in this draft. He until late. Well, we took a kid named Tim Harris, which I know nothing about. But he said that he had to look at, does he think a receiver that is picked up in the second, third, or fourth round will be more valuable to us and play right away than another corner that's going to go into competition and possibly maybe not even beat out what we already have there, because we've taken cornerbacks high in the last couple of drafts, in the second or third round. So we're still trying to develop those guys. So when he put it that way, I can kind of see it. But like I said, you still took a punter in the fourth round, so it better fucking work.
I've watched some South Carolina games, but Deebo, can you give me a pro comparison at wide receiver? If you got one.
I mean, he's kind of built thick and physical like a Dez.
Okay.
He got speed. He's not as tall as Dez. He's like maybe 5'11" or so.
That was the first receiver in the second round, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
He was toward the top.
No, it wasn't the first.
Okay.
Well, maybe the first or the second round. I'll say that because the Patriots took that boy from Arizona State into the first. We had like the third or the fourth pick in the second round rather. So he may have been the first one in the second round. If not, he was
like a late first technically. So
yeah.
So he's solid though.
Yeah. Deebo should be solid. I expect him to help us right away. Think about Anquan Bolden with speed.
Okay, that's a good comparison.
You know what I'm saying? So something like that.
Okay.
Now, let's see. And then we pick this kid, Dre Greenlaw, a linebacker, out of Arkansas. We took him fifth round. This is the kid. I don't know if you probably saw some of the tweets and the stories. He helped some young lady back in college. They were at a frat party. Somebody slipped some roofies in her drink.
Oh.
And he stopped some dudes from, going off with her or whatever, kind of intervening to her friend's pain. And her dad tweeted out the story after he got drafted, and he wanted to say, he wanted to thank him again, for looking out for his daughter. So, good story there. He seemed like a pretty good kid character-wise. I've listened to him since the draft and listened to some of his interviews. So he seems like a good kid character-wise. Reason I say that is because last linebacker that we drafted that was supposed to be coming in and try to make an impact, he had a couple character issues. Now this dude coming in, he's a 5th round pick, but I think he still should be able to battle for a spot. Yeah. Outside of that, I mean, I thought we had a pretty decent draft. I'm not mad. We needed receiver help, and we doubled up there. We took what should be a pretty good defensive end to pair with another defensive end that should be pretty good. So those two things right there, we covered what I thought was two of our 3 biggest weaknesses. Receiver.
I gave y'all a B-, and y'all took a punter in the 4th, and I got a C+. He ain't shit.
I think Mel was down on y'all Greg Little pick. I think that's
what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I can live with that. All right. You got
especially coming from Mel Kiper.
Let's run through the rest of this football. We ain't got to talk about Cam. We did that. I kind of like what Miami did with Josh Rosen. They got him for what? A late 2nd and a 5th?
Yeah, that's a steal. A kid that was a 1st round draft pick just last year. That's a steal.
Yeah, I think he's going to be all right there. I like the way he's carried the whole thing since it happened. I like the way he carried it. He could have been a sucker, like Steve Smith.
Yeah, because, I expected – because, one of the knocks on Josh Rosen was when he came out, if you remember, was his attitude. He was arrogant. He was self-centered, all those things. And the way he's kind of handled this situation, at least publicly, he's anything but that from what I could see. And Steve Smith, he definitely helped him out going on that dumbass rant that he went out. I don't. Was that a roid rage, coke rage? What the fuck was that about? Don't
be the old head. Don't be it. I mean, they took this kid in the 10th. I'm sorry, not the 10th. The 10th pick overall last year. Traded up to get him. And the next damn year, they fall in love with somebody else. But he's supposed to be good with it. Come on.
And the only thing he did was unfollow them on a social media platform, and that caused you to rant like that.
Right now, if he'd have went the LeBron pattern and went passive aggressive on social media, then you'd have some shit to say.
Right.
Steve, I love you, but that was suckerific. So we're gonna see what happens with that. Talk about Cam, Tyreek Hill. We ain't been on here since all this happened. Why has he not been cut yet? I need to know.
Hold on, let me tell you.
I know you got a good answer if you about to tell me this.
In 47 games, he touched the ball 286 times with over 3,700 yards, 29 touchdowns, and five special team touchdowns.
Because you see all the work that they have lost in their offense if they cut him between him and Kareem Hunt.
Even if they don't cut him, he's going at some point. He's going on that commissioner's list. I'm almost pretty sure of it.
What do you think they're waiting on? I mean, this is like audio.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they don't want to have any missteps. They want to put the right punishment first. I don't know.
Arm got broke, right?
The kid's arm did get broken. Now, I'm trying to go back and remember now. Now, the report from when the kid's arm got broken, Tyreek Hill wasn't mentioned in that report.
That's right. You did say that.
Now, because it was 2 reports. His name was mentioned in the first report about an altercation at the house, but neither him or the fiance was listed as suspects.
Okay.
In that first case ended up getting dropped. They determined there was nothing there not enough there to press charges, so they let that one ride. The second one, when the kid's arm got broke, is the one that Tyreek Hill wasn't mentioned in. But according to the interviews, I guess, that they've conducted with the kid, and this was what was on the audio tape of him and the fiance talking, was that the little boy said, "Daddy broke it," or "Daddy did it."
Right.
Now, That's very telling because kids that age don't usually lie.
I'm gonna tell you what concerned me most, and this may sound bad. It wasn't what he said about the little boy and the little boy being scared of him. That wasn't my concern. My concern was when he told that girl, "Bitch, you need to be scared of me."
Yeah,
that got me. I'm like, "Cuz you already basically on paper. What are you doing?" Because he sounded dead serious when he said that shit.
Yeah, and come to find out that she pregnant again. I think with twins. So I'm like, man, y'all need to stop procreating. And then I saw a report came out that said that maybe she was lying about the whole that she really was lying about everything that she was saying on that recording.
So maybe that's why they're holding up.
So yeah, it's just so much involved. So maybe I think that's why because there's so many different stories.
Does he play 16?
No, he ain't playing 16. No, he gonna sit down. It's just gonna be. He's sitting down. It's just a matter of how long he gonna have to sit. Nah, he's sitting down.
All right, let's keep it moving. Interesting development. The second day of the draft, word leaked out that Doug Baldwin might have played his last downs in the NFL. I knew he had some injuries.
Right.
I didn't know it was to this point. And Seattle kind of doubled down, taking 2 wide receivers on day 2.
Yeah. When I first heard this, I was like, yeah, right. Not Doug Baldwin. I can't see that happening.
Pretty tough. Yeah.
He hasn't come out and refuted it though.
Nope.
And like you said, and then the team going receiver. You rarely see them draft receivers. So they like to build their defense up.
Is he 30? You got to be 30, right?
29, 30, maybe somewhere around there. Yeah. So yeah, we talked about we started to see these cats go earlier, man. They starting to go ahead and sit down.
Bad though, receiver to get shut down now. Linebacker, kind of like with Pat Willis. I understand that because that's basically a car collision every play.
Right.
But a wide receiver to shut it down now, he must really be hurt. If that's true.
Look at Grunt.
Yeah.
No, you know what I'm saying?
Big dude though. He's inside.
Yeah, but man, all these dudes out there taking hits, man. Yeah, and even when a receiver, somebody that plays on the outside, mostly someone like Doug Baldwin, they still, it's still a toll on your body. You got to go through mini camp, training camp, 16-game season, and you doing that. If you look at it, football players, if they participate in all of the voluntary stuff too that goes on, and then if you make deep playoff runs, you essentially only got about 2 to 3 months off.
Essentially. What's that word you just used, though, about those workouts?
Voluntary.
So, you suckers going at Lev. Lev let y'all know when it's time to play football.
Yeah. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me.
Voluntary. All right, so we touched that. JPP. It's time to hang them up, cuz.
Just go sit down, dog.
Yeah, it's time. You got your guaranteed money. They can't go back after that. But you blew your hand up a couple years ago. I think he got 3 fingers. I think. And I came at you the other day. I was like, man, he keep getting in trouble in the off season. You was like, that's a car accident. Then you looked at it, was like a single car at 5 a.m.
Call it what it is. Hey, I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Hey, man, the man got in a car accident. Give him some slack. Wait a minute. Single car accident. 5 a.m.
He was Tampa, down there where the homie Driscoll Ferrari is. He was
St. That St. Pete area. I heard it's kind of popping down there. We might need to check Tampa out. We might need to go down there. But yeah. A fractured bone in your neck. You got a Super Bowl. He got a Super Bowl, right? Yeah, he's on one of them Giants teams. You got your money.
I mean, it might not be his choice because they're probably gonna cut him.
So, and if they cut him, and if he's got to have surgery, then they're pretty much gonna cut him because they should get a medical exemption for I guess for his cap room or for a portion of it if it comes to that. But
You know who the winner in that situation is? Gerald McCoy.
Gerald McCoy.
Because Bruce Arians been talking cash shit about him. He ain't here. Y'all, these coaches and this it's voluntary. Shit.
Yeah.
Who goes in on their off day if they ain't got to? I ain't coming close to this place. If I'm off. Stop it. So, tough break with that one. All right, let's move this thing quickly. Dak is close to getting $30 million a year. Or it's like we talked about it. And we said, well, Kirk Cousins got 28. That would be like the ceiling, 28. But 30?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what choice they really got? I had a question for you earlier today, and I meant to hit you, but I was busy today. How does the quarterback market reset? Do you think it ever does? Or this is just it? Whoever's up gonna get the next deal. It has to reset, homie. It has to.
I mean, it depends on the top tier. The top tier guys really kind of set it. So if you got a top 5 to 7 kind of player coming up for money, then it's probably going to go the same way that it's been going. I don't think Dak falls in that category, but he seems to be about ready to take advantage of it. So he's not going to beat a Russell Wilson type contract, but they're going to slot him somewhere in there. I'll pick my quarterback. And just to be fair, I don't think Dak's all world, but I don't think he's bad. You could have a lot worse. My quarterback is set to make. I think he's on a contract. Garoppolo's on a contract that averages about $27 a year. He deserves to get paid more than him. Garoppolo just started 10 games total.
Right. And now go from there with the way it's set up right now. I thought about my quarterback. Okay, if Dak got 30, if he's about to get 30, if Cam balls this year,
he gonna want.
We've been to the Super Bowl.
He gonna want in between that 30 to 35.
Wentz is up right now. Wentz just won. Well, Dak ain't got the bread yet, but the numbers are out there. I'm Wentz, you paying me more than Dak. I don't want to hear nothing else. You're paying me more than Dak.
Wentz is gonna be interesting because he didn't win the Super Bowl.
Wentz ain't the one that's interesting. I'm gonna tell you who's interesting.
When he came back, they had a so-so season last year.
Golf is interesting.
Yeah.
That one right there. What do they do? Because he's a glorified game manager.
Yeah, we'll see how he continue to grow. Now, if he come out here and throw 40 touchdowns this year, then we know what direction it's gonna go. But if he come out here and have a even season with what he had last year, or slows even the slightest bit of regression, then we're gonna be having another conversation.
Yeah, it's crazy the way this quarterback market is set up, but it probably won't change.
And then as long as the cap keep going up, all the players' salaries gonna go up. We tend to talk about the quarterbacks a lot, but all the players across the board get more money when the cap is more. It's just that the quarterbacks already get such a huge chunk, and when that huge chunk continues to go up, it's eye popping, man. Some of these dollar figures that we're seeing.
Now, how long we been talking about what Dallas was going to do with all these cats they got to pay? Well,
quite a while.
They paid DeMarcus Lawrence. Shout out to him. They pretty much said they're about to pay Dak.
Right.
Well, somewhere along the way, Amari Cooper came up. Amari Cooper, they came to him like, hey, we rescued you from Oakland. We're going to make this team-friendly deal, huh? No.
Because what did they give up to get him? Was it
a first?
A first, right?
Yeah.
He know that.
I want to say it was that 27 that Oakland got. I want to say it was that one.
Okay. Amari Cooper and his representation, his agents, they know that. So that's kind of a bargaining chip, so to speak, because you gave a big collateral for me. You got to pay. You gonna cave in and pay me because you don't want to lose me for nothing. You don't want to have to franchise me.
Yeah, franchise.
You know what I'm saying?
Bread. We talked about it the other day. I don't blame him for wanting. I'm thinking if he wanted 18, 17 is the number because he deserves more money than Sammy Watkins.
So see, Sammy is at like 15 or 16.
Right, 16.
16, okay. I know Odell's at 18.
And I'm surprised Odell ain't asked for to renegotiate on that AB.
Odell's on 18. I think AB is at like 17 or so. And then the next, Mike Evans,
Julio
Sammy.
ain't got paid yet, has he? They still talking.
He still got paid. Brandon
got to get a bag at some point.
He's at like 15. He's right below. I think this is last year his deal though.
Yeah.
Because he's free. Because he's free in 2020.
Yeah.
But like Sammy Watkins, Brandon Cooks, Mike Evans, they kind of bunch right in there in that kind of $16 million range.
I don't think.
I figured.
But them other two, he better than Sammy. He better than Cooks.
I don't think he should get more than Odell.
Nope.
Or AB.
Nope.
But he should get. He'll get in that 16, 17 million because you gotta factor in inflation or a little bit of an increase from what those contracts are now. But I'm thinking he should be right there in that 16 to 17 range. Now they're talking about he came in crazy, saying his asking price was too high. So is that per year too high? Is he asking for too many guaranteed dollars up front?
I heard 18. 18 is reasonable. I mean, you're going to ask 18 and probably take 16 and a half, 17.
Yeah.
That's reasonable. I don't know, but they still got to pay Barry Church. And at some point, you got to pay them linebackers. At some point.
I don't know where they're going to come with the money from. All that does for this next person that you got on this list here, Ezekiel Elliott. What you gonna do? Hold out?
I ain't going to camp.
That's the only. I don't see it working. I don't see it working out good for him because they gonna run him into the ground, and he was the first round pick. So they got a 5th-year option on him.
They basically got 2 more years on Zeke, basically. Cause you remember DeMarco Murray? You know that cat who was good for them a long time ago.
Yeah, he ran about like 700 times that 1 year.
Cause I ain't going. When he comes out saying we got some time on this, word. Y'all got some time, huh? Bet.
They don't plan on addressing Zeke contract situation this year.
No time soon. And you can't blame them because technically they do have 2 years, but at running back, and
that 2 years is big.
The offense is on me. Nah.
That 2 years is big. That 2 years is big. That's that could. And they drafted a cat. They drafted a cat this year who they say is supposed to take a little bit of the load off of Zeke because they say they want to preserve Zeke. They're saying the right shit, but we already know how these teams, like you said, how they do running backs. DeMarco Murray is not that far in the review, but we don't remember what y'all did to him.
400 carries his last year. 400. That's not carries. It was touches.
Yeah.
Zeke. Don't go. I'm not doing it. You're gonna have to pay me, dog. I'm sorry. You have to pay me. I'd rather if I'm now. I'm gonna ask you this: GM had again. Would you franchise Dak, or would you make Zeke play that up?
No, I'm not franchising Dak. You might as well go and do the deal if you're gonna franchise. I don't think it pays to franchise quarterbacks because of the numbers. The numbers are getting too high.
Yeah, the number is high.
You know what I'm saying? The top 3 dudes make 30 plus.
So you might as well pay him for that.
Yeah, you might as well. Yes, you might as well pay him. Now Zeke. Sorry, buddy.
Would you go
where?
Camp.
I think this year he ain't really got a choice.
Now
next year,
I've been hearing.
I think it's a different story.
Jerry rode for him when he had them charges on him. Yeah, he did.
Okay. So, we appreciate that, but this is business right here. This is business right here. This is business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna see how they work all this out because you see they got a lot of people to pay within the next 2 years, and they only got one franchise tag that they can use a year, so they can't franchise everybody.
Just one.
Yeah.
Because they still got Jalen Smith, Van Der Esch. Now Van Der Esch was a first, so they can have that 5th year with him.
He's not going nowhere.
First, so you're gonna have to figure that out with him. Barry Church is up.
I can see them. I can see Jalen Smith having to walk. Van Der Esch, I don't think they're gonna let him go nowhere.
No, sir.
I can see them saying, "Hey, Jalen Smith, this is what we can offer you. Take it or leave it." Because they got too many.
Tyron
They got too
Smith
many mouths.
makes real money though. He been hurt a good bit the last year or two.
Maybe a cut candidate.
I mean, they got to start looking. Jalen Smith is fast. You
Yeah.
need a sideline to sideline linebacker.
In this league, you damn sure do. Yeah.
So Jerry and them got good type of problems. They bad problems, but they're really good because you got talent. You got to pay. So
Right. You got to figure out a way to pay him.
So we'll see. We ain't got to talk about this last thing. Basically, the second wave of free agency is starting. Basically, you can sign cats, and they ain't got nothing to do with you getting comp picks. Comp picks for you people who are uninitiated. That's the reason that the New England Patriots win the Super Bowl every damn year. That reason there.
Pretty much.
Let's get into this basketball. All right. You got the score on the game right now?
I looked at it a few minutes ago, and the Bucks was up 15.
Okay. So Boston is probably going home. We're gonna talk about them in a minute. Let's give the current standings of the series right now. Houston plays tonight. It's currently 2-2 with Golden State. Denver plays Portland tomorrow. It's 3-2 Denver. Philly and Toronto, 3-2 Toronto. And Boston is playing right now, and they're probably gonna go fishing if it continues the way it is.
4 minutes, 54 seconds left in the third, 71-57 Bucks.
Them cats quit. Let's talk about the state of the process.
Okay. Where do we start?
I don't know. I honestly do not know.
The two. Let's start with the two big pieces. As a matter of fact, this is how we're gonna start it. The two biggest pieces of the process: Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons.
Yes, sir.
For the majority of this, pretty much all damn near, except for maybe one game, they have both been playing pretty damn scared. Now, as you people know, we haven't brought it out in a while. I decided it had to come back today. Those of you guys watching this on the YouTube channel, you'll see we got them scaredies out. People, if y'all don't know about scaredies, it's a cereal that we endorse. It's a cereal for scared people. All right. And Joel Embiid.
In the morning, you ain't worth a shit that whole day.
And Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons have clearly been eating big bowls of these shits before game time.
Yeah, he walked in that arena yesterday with that hood on. He might have had seconds of them scared.
Like, cuz. He went back for more milk and everything. You know,
I don't know where to go with this.
Game one, Joel Embiid. Game one, it was his knee. Game two, he had the shits. Now he balled game three, and it was all this shit, and it was a fun time. You know, yeah. I think I heard Jalen Rose say he scored 9 baskets and he celebrated on 5 of them. And then the last 2 games, he got some kind of virus, so he's sick again. Calling the coach at 6.
12, 13 the last 2 games, give or take.
Calling the coach at 6 in the morning. Game ain't till 3 or 4. You know, I'm sick. You know, I'm like, even if you are, man, you just got to go out there.
Who?
Yeah. He tapped out real early. But, you know, sick or not, man, you gotta come with it. You know, get your big ass on the block for one. Stop shooting all them damn 3-pointers. Get your big ass on the block. You know, the end of game 4, where they could have went up 3-1 and took a stranglehold on this series. You know, he made a lot of crucial little errors and things. He missed a couple bunnies, I think. He missed some free throws.
I want to say he had 8 turnovers.
Yeah, he had 8 turnovers this last game, game 5. I want to say Ben had 8 or 9 himself. You know,
Ben is your fault.
Why you say that?
Because you let him come to the crib. He ain't showed up.
Hey, man. Hey, I charged him for 5 days on the couch, man. It's up to him what he do after that. But Ben Simmons, you gotta at least try to shoot a jump shot. You have to try.
What do you think it's like with the coaches on that team talking to him? I honestly think whatever they say, he's not featuring it.
They're not making him featuring it. I would sit his ass down, but then again, they don't have shit on their bench. You know,
And I'd start Mike Scott, because he gonna shoot the ball at least. You got you, because he cannot not shoot the ball. This shit is ridiculous.
And what I'm seeing, what I'm starting to see now, what it's affecting now is he getting to the rim and either not taking layups or missing layups.
He is missing a lot of layups.
In short shots. So it's like, dude, you no help to us on offense unless it's an open game. An open court game, which takes me back to remember the game Embiid missed last series.
Jared Dudley said it though.
Ben came out, and I think he scored like 25, 26 points because he could just run the floor and the lane is not clogged if Embiid's in there.
But the funny thing is, I've been hearing a whole lot in regards to they're gonna have to choose between the two of them, and I mean this is a legit discussion because you're gonna deal with health, or this cat ain't getting no better.
That's what makes it interesting. That's what makes it interesting. I started to pull a poll. As a matter of fact, I still may do it after this show, people. Or by the time y'all hear it, go to the AA Sportscast Twitter page and give us your feedback on this poll. I'm gonna put up this question: Which is gonna happen first? Joel Embiid stays healthy, or Ben Simmons gets a jump shot?
I think my simple ass came at you a couple weeks ago, and I was like, Ben gonna start shooting, and you like sun me real hard, because at some point he has to shoot the ball. Shit, at some point.
You would have thought over the summer. You would have thought over the summer he would have been working on the jump shot, especially after how the season ended last year, and Boston put him in that chokehold.
Cause you see the numbers I put. These are career numbers. He's 0% from three in 160 games.
He probably hasn't taken 10 total in 2 years.
I'd say 5. That is ridiculous. Is Brett Brown scared of him?
Somebody got to be scared of him. I don't get it. Yeah, I mean you out here and not to say that you can't be, on the gram and partying and doing social media and stunting and doing all these other things. I ain't one of them cats that when I see players do that, I'm like, why ain't you studying? Or why ain't you studying your playbook or none of that? But when you're doing all that and then you still can't shoot, it looks bad. The optics of it look bad.
Is it a thing of can't shoot or won't shoot?
Well, I think it's both. I think because he can't, he won't. But
we've seen the workout videos. He's decent.
He's scared. Yeah, the stroke is not all that bad. I've heard people say they think he's shooting with the wrong hand. But maybe that's valid. I'm not a shooting coach. Maybe he can shoot with the other hand, but if he's been left-handed all his life, then hell, he should be able to shoot left-handed.
That seems like a big stretch to go from lefty to righty this late in the game.
Right. Just you have to at least attempt them. Even Markelle Fultz would try to shoot one or two shots. You know what I'm saying? That's the part to me that I'm not understanding, because he is crippling. He is crippling that offense.
So you hit me Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. You was like, Jimmy can't leave. Like, they gotta keep Jimmy.
They have to. They have to. He the only dude with some heart right now.
And shout out to Jimmy. Jimmy is working for that bag, because I told you the other day I want the rant. I want the Jimmy rant. Jimmy ain't doing that. Jimmy is riding with Embiid. Hey, we riding down with the big fella. Jimmy wants $190 million, people.
Yeah.
That's what
you want to hear Jimmy's real thoughts? Wait till Jimmy get his money.
Wait till you get that bag, and Ben Simmons won't shoot something outside of 5 feet. Then you're gonna hear what he got to do. But let me ask you this: is it not impossible to think that they lose Jimmy, Tobias Harris, and JJ Redick? It could happen.
It could. Especially. He didn't play worth a shit last night, but especially JJ Redick.
That's shooting.
That's shooting. And if I'm the Lakers, I'm probably pulling up on him.
Okay.
Well, he is like 34, 35, but he can still shoot. Okay, so he could.
They like yesterday.
The only problem is where do you play him though?
I mean,
because you got Dennis. You know what I'm saying? Because you already playing Dennis and Russell.
That's a good question. Maybe not.
But
Yeah.
but you can never have enough shooters though. So to your point,
shooters.
but like they could lose 1, 2, or all 3 of those guys.
You see, Mike Scott's a free agent. Boban. What would happen if all these cats take the bag to go somewhere else?
Yeah. But now Philly's got I don't know much about Zaire Smith. I remember the rookie. Remember he got hurt, so
I wouldn't have gave up.
He's taking his year. You know, to become a Sixer, you got to go on the injury list the first year. So
you got a red shirt as a Sixer.
There you go. That's what I'm looking for, the red shirt. They got some things to figure out. But if Ben Simmons won't shoot the ball, then they have to pick. They have to pick between Embiid and Simmons.
I rock with you because I think we look at it from a rational sense. What would you do? I don't think I could pick the cat who won't shoot the ball. I don't think I can do it. I'd rather have 65 games of Embiid going hard than 82 Ben Simmons. We got to be in transition for him to ball. I don't think I could do that.
And
that you can't teach dog.
No, you can't teach dog. You can't teach a dog. And like I said, it's just his lack of confidence in shooting. Now, you look at the league today and you say, well, it's an up and down league. The big man has been pretty much, eliminated. But I like old school big man with post moves myself. And you see it year after year after year. Even if you're a team that regular season, you're going to run up and down the court, that shit comes to a stop come playoff time. You know what I'm saying? It becomes a half-court game in the playoffs. And for that reason, give me the post player. Give me the dude that's going to be able to draw fouls or what have you.
But Embiid is not just a regular post player, though, because he can shoot the jumper. He can shoot the jumper.
That's his gift and his curse, though. Because he can shoot it, he shoots it too damn much.
He falls in love. You're absolutely right. Damn. Kyrie and them down 16 points. Bless their heart. Let's talk about young Kobe. Young Kobe. That's a name we give for Kyrie because we're ahead of a lot of this stuff, people. Kyrie's last 3 games, I'm not talking tonight, 29 for 62 and 4 for 19.
No, that's 19 for 62.
I'm sorry, 19 for 62. My bad. And 4 for 19 from 3. And this boy said he should have shot 30 times on the night instead of 22.
Well, did you see that? That's so defiant.
He was done then. Okay, people. There are certain times.
He checked out game 4.
There are certain times with people when you know they gone. They still there, but they're not gone.
Yeah.
He was gone after that.
It felt just like Bron walking out of that stadium in Cleveland the first time.
Yep.
That's exactly what it felt like.
And Jalen Rose was on TV today. I rock with Get Up around 8 o'clock. I mess with them.
Yeah. Really because of Jalen.
Jalen was like, they want him to go. And guess what? His teammates to help him move.
Yeah.
Because they went to the conference finals last year without him, without Hayward. You watched that last game with Milwaukee. Them shots he was taking, atrocious.
Yeah. He's atrocious. And I don't know if Jason Tatum has just regressed or if
that's your
because
fault.
of the way Kyrie plays, he is rubbed off on Tatum. But
did you set up bunk beds for him and Ben Simmons?
Because I don't understand what's going on with Jason Tatum.
Boy, but he's the untouchable asset that's gonna help them get AD though.
Right. But somebody brought up a good point. It was like Kyrie wants those young cats to look up to him as a leader. Why? When we did better without you,
We talked about that a couple weeks ago. Kyrie's technically an old head, right? In today's NBA, technically.
To them, yeah. But you look at you look at how they did last year, and I'm starting to wonder because Brad Stevens don't look as much of a genius in this kind of form with this kind of player. So I'm starting to think that he is a system guy. maybe the pieces and everything will work much better if you get rid of a ball dominant cat like Kyrie and you've got a bunch, you got multiple kind of middle road young stars, kind of so to speak, and they can work off and they like to share the ball and they can play better that way together.
You said something to me. I don't know if you tweeted it, but you said it to me directly about Dame. And we were talking about Dame Lillard, and you were saying, okay, everything's dope, but like now it's expectations.
Yeah.
They made the Eastern Conference Finals last year with no stars.
Exactly. So everybody had crowned them. Oh, they just going to throw Kyrie and Gordon Hayward back in there, and they're going to be unstoppable. And I know we talked about it plenty of times last year in the summer. You can't just throw people back into the pot and think shit is going to go the same way. It don't work like that, especially when it's a cat like Kyrie. You might could throw a role player or two into a situation and they kind of still flow the same, but not two all stars. No, it's we knew it was going to be some growing pains, and they weren't going to be probably as fluent or whatever as they were last year. And it's definitely coming to his head here in this series. I damn sure was wrong because I thought Boston was going to win. I wouldn't Paul Pierce after the first game saying it was absolutely over. But I was wondering, hey, if Boston is going to play how they played game one, it's like I don't see how Milwaukee can win. Well, Milwaukee came out and they just started. Huh?
We got a chicken bet on that too, don't we?
Milwaukee going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, I might as well just go ahead and pay that. You tell me now. Text me after the show and tell me what you want. That's a done deal. That's a done deal. That's a done deal.
You know what? After game one, I was like, damn, Boston whooped their ass. They were shooting the ball. They played that right defense we called. Giannis gonna have to jump over two dudes to get what he needed to get.
Yeah.
But Giannis gave him the
work. A couple things that changed, especially with games 2 and 3. Boston started letting Chris Middleton get off. They started helping off Giannis a lot, and Chris Middleton is already a great shooter. If you're gonna let him take practice and shoot around threes, he's gonna destroy you. And a lot of that started to happen, and then on top of that, Boston stopped making shots. And that's a recipe for L all day.
Kyrie can't take 62 shots in 3 games to only make 19.
Bro. Nah.
All right, what do you think is next? I'm assuming Kyrie and Morris are gone.
Rozier, you said I think he a free agent too, right?
Yeah, they're gonna pay him because Kyrie's gonna leave. They're gonna pay him, I'm thinking. But,
well, let's talk about the fallout. Because if Kyrie leaves, they can pretty much kiss AD goodbye, right?
Yeah, I don't believe they want to get him anyway.
Well, we've been on the same page after AD's daddy had them comments about Boston during the Laker trade talks, and then AD came out with his list that didn't have Boston on it. Now, he came out after and said, well, I never said, but well, you never put him on your list, and I hear your daddy over here.
Now if I'm David Griffin, you shoot me them 3 first-round picks from 19. Give me Jaylen Brown and Tatum. Cool. You can have
I'm pretty sure David Griffin would take that. But Danny Ainge ain't no damn. I know he just had a heart attack, but I know he ain't no damn fool.
I can't hear it otherwise though. He keeps wanting to make the trade. Why would you trade for a dude you don't know gonna resign? Why?
If he does that, then bless his heart.
Yeah, we can leave.
No pun intended.
We can leave that at that. All right, next one up. Bright future in Denver. I put the numbers for Jokic and Murray, but at this stage right now today, it ain't no dispute. Joker's the best big man in the league right now, right?
I mean, if Embiid's not gonna be healthy, yeah.
But we got to put it all in perspective. Embiid ain't available all the time.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's the only caveat with Embiid, because if he is available as much as Joker, then it's Embiid. But when you factor that in, then no, it's Joker.
Hell, about this time a year ago, I thought Boogie was the best one when healthy, but
yeah. And with Joker, and we're not gonna see a lot of it right now, but you'll see it later on in his career. He'll be able to go longer, but because he's not relying on athleticism like at all. So if he tearing Achilles,
jump higher than him.
yes. So if he tearing Achilles or something like that, he don't jump. He don't jump very high anyway.
Absolutely. All right. We about to watch this game in a bit, but which star shows up tonight? Steph Curry or CP3?
I definitely say Steph before I say CP3.
Because I know we've been saying for a year that contract that they paid CP3.
It's a fucking problem.
15 points. Where am I at? 6 assists and 6 boards. Shooting 46% ain't bad, but because all he does is grab and complain about fouls at this point. That's it. That's it.
Has he gotten slower and lost a step, or is it more of a product?
He was last year.
Is it that James Harden just has the ball in his hands too much?
You know what? Chris Paul makes to me, and I'm a James Harden fan, but looking at Chris Paul, I'm a bigger James Harden fan because he's dragging $40 million a year. All he does is foul and complain. That's it.
Because you like I'm content for the last several years that Chris Paul only need really like 15 points out of him. 15, 16 points. I think that's pretty much standard for him. If he gets to 20, that's a good night. But I'm expecting no less than 8 assists. We're not getting that now. We're not even getting that.
Because they got him in the corner, waiting on the ball, watching James Harden with his hands on his knees.
In a lot of cases, and somebody broke it down. In a lot of cases, when you're talking about him in the corner with his hands on his knees, he's not even moving because he ain't even expecting to get the ball. You know,
which makes James Harden look more impressive to me. Who needs this game more tonight?
Oh, definitely Houston.
You think so?
Definitely, yeah, I think so. Because if they go down 3-2, even though they're going back home, I just still think it's more pressure. It's a little more pressure on them because it'll be a closeout game. Golden State, I think they can handle the pressure of a closeout game, whether they're on the road or not. I'm expecting Curry to snap out of whatever this slump is that he's been in. I'm expecting. Clay has to shoot a whole lot better. Steph actually started the first half of the last game balling pretty well. But Clay has definitely been off. But to see the thing with them with Steph and Clay, it only take a quarter for them to get right back on track and it be all over just that quick.
That's it. You 100 on that. So
Chris Paul, yeah, boy, these numbers, boy. Chris Paul is due $38 million, $41 million, and $44 million over the next 3 years, and he's 34.
Who are they negotiating against?
He's 34 right now.
And it's gonna get better in the next 3 years. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
Oh man, he makes more money than James Harden every year.
Absolutely. All right,
man, James Harden got a hellified player option. It's not to 22, 23. But imagine having a 46.
He's the only cat that's worked out with the Supermax so far.
He got a $46 million player option the last year of it.
He might be able to get another Supermax deal out of that.
Let's see. He's 29 right now, so he'll be 33 when it's time.
What else they gonna do?
Hey, you know, Maury turn his team over every year. He don't give a fuck.
But shooting ages well, though.
Yeah, and then he already
athlete. So
I would say he already got that kind of old man YMCA game anyway.
Right, man. We said that shit last year, and we've been saying it. That Chris Paul contract was trash. Y'all weren't negotiating against nobody.
Nobody. And is this the trade-off? Because usually we waiting on the Chris Paul injury every year.
I thought he had Saturday. When we were out at Top Golf, I thought it was Saturday.
He rolled up on his knee. I think somebody did.
I thought it was Saturday.
But now he's in the lineup, but he ain't doing shit.
When he dribbled into the lane that game, where the fuck was he going? Where was he going?
The play where before with the overtime where he let Clay tie him up.
Right. Hey, y'all did that to yourselves. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Monty Williams took
the. Who gonna trade for him?
What's up?
Who gonna trade for him?
Nobody. They stuck with that.
Yeah.
Stuck. So, Monty Williams took the Phoenix Suns job. They have won 126 games over the last 5 seasons. That's an indictment on the Lakers to me. You got one of the best. LeBron's not the best player in the world at this point. He's one of them. He's top 3. You'd rather go deal with Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton and Josh Jackson than go deal with LeBron.
I don't think it's LeBron. I think it's that front office. As we can see, we're gonna get to this Ty Lue situation in a minute. I think it's more. I think it's more the front office. Because you brought up a lot about him just holding out for the Monty. About Monty Williams holding out for the Philly job. Brett Brown got a high possibility of getting fired if they go on to lose this series against Toronto. I really think Monty just wanted to take a head coaching job. There's a lot of young talent in Phoenix.
It is.
The organization upstairs is trash.
I wouldn't trust that owner to say it.
Right. So I think that's why he went ahead and took the job. But it is definitely an indictment on the Lakers. I'd put most of that paddle in that front office. So, like I said, we're gonna get to this Ty Lue situation.
Let's jump on that now. So, Ty Lue, I'm gonna ask you some questions, and I got a role play we gotta do real. We gotta move fast, but I got a role play I want to do. Ty Lue, he won a title, right?
Right.
Okay. A lot of cats don't win titles in the NBA.
Not many.
I'm at you with 3 years, $18 million. My math adds up. That's $6 million, right?
Every day.
That's no bueno.
And then you throw on top of that. And by the way, he was looking for a 5-year deal from what I'm hearing. So you're 2 years off, and you shorted me on the per year money. Okay.
Nope.
And then on top of that, you want to dictate who's on my staff.
Nope.
We like Jason Kidd so much, we want him to be an assistant. Oh, you want me to put my eventual replacement, if shit go wrong, on the staff. Do I look stupid to you?
Absolutely not.
Hey, I have to get on the phone. Hey, I'm Ty Lue. Hey, Brian. Hey, dog, I tried, but they tripping.
Okay. We talked about it the other day. Actually, I want to say it was yesterday morning, maybe the day before. We're about to do a role play. I'm Kyrie. You're LeBron. They're down 20 points right now.
Yeah, I looked at it a few minutes, but they done.
What's that conversation like when you hit me?
Hey, dog. I think we did this one show a couple of shows back. They need to come together, like man. They got to. Hey, dog. What you want to do? You want to come on? Shit, but you know what? The Ty Lue thing was supposed to be one of the other pieces that help.
West. I think it all depends on Tuesday. It depends.
Do you depend on the draft?
The reason why I say that, if the Knicks get one, that kind of helps them. People keep saying Brooklyn is the favorite. Where they gonna play LeVert and D'Angelo Russell? Where they gonna play?
Well, they gotta resign D'Angelo Russell, and I would think that if they could get Kyrie, that they will move on from D'Angelo Russell, unless they're gonna put him off the ball. Unless they're gonna put him off the ball.
D'Angelo off the ball though. If it's me,
I'm not really in on the Brooklyn part. I'm not really. I think they have enough young wings. I think they need some more versatile bigs to kind of complete and round that team out. I don't think they need to throw Kyrie into that mix.
I'm with you.
I also don't think the draft pick that the Knicks get, unless it's number one and they get Zion, then they could possibly move the needle some.
They got to be one.
I don't think that's going to be the telltale whether Kyrie goes there or not. Because if he's going to act like this, like he did with Boston's young players, with some even younger players in New York, I don't think that.
You got to go with Vince.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to mesh well. On top of how he's been pretty outspoken, at least this year, even more about his disdain for the media. That's definitely not going to play well in New York.
Let me ask you this: full max.
Who, Kyrie?
Yeah,
he's getting the full max. I don't think that's a question.
Even with the bullshit though, with this year, with Boston.
I mean, when you look at that, what do you say is that he definitively done that was just out of the way? Nothing. It's just really a mix of.
But that's how we look at it. I'm talking about as a team looking at it. If you got young players, if you ain't got vets,
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't, and that's what I'm getting to. I don't. That's why I'm saying I don't think the draft picks really play a part into it because he may not be a good fit for the Knicks either, due to the reason that you just mentioned about fitting with the young guys, the media scrutiny that comes with that, and he ain't really being on the same path with the media. And what do they have there that is enticing? Unless Kevin Durant is coming with him, that's the only way that I see that Knicks thing happening.
right?
You know what I'm saying?
That
So
shit don't matter either way because the Hawks are getting Zion Williamson.
there you go.
Spoiler
um,
You got
I
anything
think I'm
else?
missing something.
I think we covered everything.
Yeah, that was it.
Graded out well, homie.
All right, cool. Let's take this score one more time before we get up out of here. You got it up?
You see these cats making $6 million a year and they ain't got no ring, but Ty Lue's supposed to take that same bread.
Billy Donovan, $6 million. Dwayne Casey, 7. Rick Carlisle, 7. Scott Brooks.
Carlisle got a ring at least.
Carlisle got a ring. Scott Brooks, $7 million.
Come on.
Doc Rivers getting $10 million. How the hell did that happen?
Right. If I'm Ty Lue, 8.
5 years, 30, 35, 40 million. That's in the
fully guaranteed.
Yeah, 5 years. Yeah, that's 80. That's 80 years. Yeah, that I don't see the Lakers should have been able. They should have been able to do that.
Scott Brooks got $7 million. Come on.
and it just goes to show how disarrayed the front office is. Going back to this Lakers thing, because they offered a 3-year deal. Ty Lue looking for a $5 million deal. So basically, they just looking for a coach or a Band-Aid right now to finish out LeBron's contract. Ty Lue looking to be there even when LeBron is gone. So they not even on the same page on that principle. So that's some of this stuff that seems very basic.
Rambis and his family got that type of sway in that front office now.
That's apparently who's running things in Pelinka. And then when you got Pelinka still involved, people are wondering how much is Kobe pulling strings behind the scenes. It's
all them years LeBron done took those 1-and-1s. He finally take a 4-year deal, and he end up dealing with a dumpster fire.
He is stuck in this shit right here.
All right. Well, hey, you graded out well tonight. Combine ball tonight.
Yeah, man, you got it, man. We appreciate your expertise. Now tell these people where they can get at you on social media. Get some of that. We're starting to have some more conversations on social media. We're gonna start bringing some of that to the Twitter platform. So y'all make sure y'all follow us there. I'm at Diego Barish. Hey, tell them where to tag you at.
At Rike6000. Holla at me. I talk sports.
All right. Don't forget to keep hit that subscribe button when you go to the YouTube channel and watch us. And those of you guys that listen to us on the Spreaker platform, continue to do so. Shout out to the Urban Arena crew, Get With It Sports, Kane and Ice Show, Nicole Monique, Left Handed. We appreciate y'all, Big Q and JB over there at Big Boy TV. So football season is coming up real soon. All right, and here at AA Sports, we got some modifications and changing things that we're talking about behind the scenes, and we're gonna try to bring y'all in the next couple of weeks to months. So we in here.
Let's get it, man.
We're gonna get up out of here and get to watch this game tonight. Do we ever? I don't think we ever picked to win tonight between Golden State and Houston.
I'm gonna ride with Golden State. They gotta win this game tonight. I just can't. I can't.
It's in Golden State, right?
Bad. It's 2-2.
Yeah, I'm saying it's in Golden State, right? Yeah, it's in
Golden State. They can't shoot this bad going forward. We haven't had the explosion game yet.
We haven't. I need. In fact, before we get out here, I need Steph Curry and I need Dame Lillard to have some signature games.
They done. I guess do you I know we about to get out of here, but do you notice how Golden State always go ISO in playoffs with KD, and they move the ball in the regular season?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The
That's
game
not a
slow
good
down.
thing. It's really not. Let's get up out of here. We'll talk about
All
it
right.
later. By the time we're on here next week, these Atlanta Hawks will have the number 1 pick in the lottery, and we'll be taking Diana Williamson.
There you go. There you go. All right, man. For your boy Uncle Hay, for your boy Diego Marishnikov, baby. We are AA Sports, straight sports, no chaser. Y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy these playoffs. We'll holler at y'all next week. Y'all be easy. Peace.
Peace.